So, when I was 7, I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I noticed I couldn't move, and it was very hard to breathe. And well, when you're 7, all you know is fear at that point. And I was able to look somewhat around my room, and I was able to look and focus on the mirror that was on the wall to my right. And in the reflection of the mirror, I could see the window that was on the wall to my left, just like near the foot of my bed, against the left wall. And there was a gray being with very big black eyes. And it seemed like it was causing the paralysis. And that was the first time it happened. It really scarred me for a long time, you can imagine. But it was only a couple of weeks after that incident, I think. I mean, it was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was a couple of weeks in between. I woke up to something similar. I could move, but I had the same feeling of terror. There was two things in my room. At first, they were like shadows, like shadow people that you normally see during sleep paralysis. I've learned that, but these things, when I was a child, they changed shape in front of me, and it was as if they were changing shape at the moment as they were, I guess, reading my mind for I guess a camouflage, a way to camouflage themselves to appear as something that I have come to know as non-threatening. So they changed shape in front of me very quickly. It was like a 3-4 second thing, into Donald Duck and Goofy. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but they weren't like Donald Duck and Goofy like a cartoon. It was more like twisted claymation, like, three-dimensional right in front of your face, right? So yeah, that was bad. That was the second event, also while I was 7. When I was 9, I saw ships. I thought, well, saucers, whatever. I saw something in the sky with my neighbor. He took a picture, and there were glowing red people in the farmer's field across from his backyard. His backyard was about an acre long, and it was farmer's fields, a couple acres wide, behind, and there's a row of trees in between the fields, and it was in the trees that they were running. And he got them on picture. Like, this is a long time ago. I'm 37. I was 9, so he used, I think it was a Polaroid. I don't know. I'm not really in contact with him too much to know if he still has that. I mean, it's a long time ago, but either way, it doesn't matter. Probably nobody's gonna see this, but these things happened, and it always, obviously it singled me out in a way that I felt like I was different. Like either I'm part of them, or they're monitoring me because I'm different in some way. And I have, I'm 37 now, it's the year 2021. Things have happened in my life, like lots of, you could say, coincidences. I don't really believe in that stuff. I see patterns. I see patterns in numbers and patterns in words and places and things, and I'm influenced by a spirit. I know that now. I really hope it is the Lord. I don't know who else could make these things happen to a human. Anyway, so when I was 21, I was in, okay, it wasn't sleep paralysis, it was like I was sleeping for a minute. I woke up because I heard something, and I was 21. I had a girlfriend at the time. She was next to me in bed, and I heard something at my door, right? And my door was like at the foot of my bed, so I stood up really quick, like sat up, and it was like an instantaneous thing. I was no longer in my room. It was like I was pulled out of my bed extremely fast, like unbelievably fast. Like you wouldn't think that you'd be able to move like that. I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but it felt like I was physically gone, and I was floating before Satan. Like they say, he's like a serpent, like a dragon. Well, yeah, I couldn't move my head. I could move my eyes somewhat. I was, scared beyond belief. So I couldn't really see his body. But yeah, I saw his face, obviously. It was, I don't know how to describe the dimensions of this. I was in what seemed to be a giant sphere of fire. And he was the only thing in it, in the center of it. And it was, maybe twice the size of it. And it was, I don't know, 25 blocks diameter. I was floating in front of his face. And I was the size of maybe half of one of his teeth. And he had about 1,000 teeth. And he is a reptile-looking thing with giant snake-like eyes that glow burning green fire. just like when you see someone on TV and you're like, whoa, that's a reptilian, like, and you see that glow for a split second around the slit pupil. That's his eye. That's his eyes. It's exactly what it looks like, just much, much bigger. It glows. It didn't look like he was in pain. I mean, this thing is massive. I don't understand a lot of this stuff. I've recently read the Bible, but I think it's too late. I've been vaccinated. Which I think I figured that out too. I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is who am I listening to right now? Am I listening to the God? Or am I listening to that serpent thing? Anyway, so I was floating before his face. And his grin was open. His teeth weren't open, like he was smiling, like, and like, it's the most horrifying thing you could ever imagine. Like, when the Bible talks about the image of the beast, like, you have no idea how big and how horrifying it really is. And he spoke to me, and he just said 2 words. He said, "Hello, Stephen." Not in a sarcastic way or an enthusiastic way or an evil way. He just said hello and my first name. And he did it without moving his mouth. See, he was speaking in my chest, it felt like. And maybe he was speaking, but he didn't have to move his mouth, and it was just like a humming, like a vibration, like a bass in my chest, right? But I heard it. Obviously, it's very loud, louder than my ears could pick up. And then I was back in my room, like, just as fast as I was pulled forward, I was thrown back, and I felt myself land on the bed hard, and the person next to me, she awoke, and I looked towards my doorway, which was closed, but I could see through my door and my walls. And there was 2 things in my hallway. They didn't look like they've looked to me before, but I knew they were the same thing. One of them looked like a girl with long black hair. That was the one in front leading the other one. The other one was 8 feet, and it was a shadow. The other one wasn't. The other one was wearing white and was about 4 feet tall and had hair dripping down over the white and its face. You couldn't see its face, or, well, the other thing was just solid black. But these are real things that happened to me. And that's not it. See, I'm supposed to be born on December 25th. That was my predicted birth date. And my dad at the time was not knowing, but influenced by Satan. And he was using tarot cards, and he was dealing with organized crime. And other influences that led him to utter the words at that moment. There's no fucking way in hell that my son is going to be born on his birthday. And then my father had a vision, and it was an angel, and the angel sat next to him in his bed. And it told him that I would be a gift to my father on his birthday. And I was born late. And I was born on my father's birthday, January 6th. See, I used to think it was a cool birthday to have the same birthday as my dad, and things transpired since. It's the 6th day of the year. It's the day of Epiphany, right? And Epiphany means to have a sudden realization of truth. And my whole life, I feel like I've been lied to about things, and my spirit that speaks to me tells me the truth. And more often than not, I come to find out that it is telling me the truth. So, I was born on my father's birthday. Now that's 6th day of the year. You see, my mother died this year on the 6th day of the year. See, that makes between my father, myself, and my mother 666. And it was the end of my 36th birthday, right? Like the end of my 36 years on earth. I turned 37 and she died. And I'm okay with it. I love her. She's passed on. But she died by fire in an accident, she smoked a lot. She had to go on oxygen, and she continued to smoke. So I believe Satan took my mother. And see, the 3 6s show up often now. Not just in my own personal life, but it's manifesting into reality now. And there are coincidences that I'm noticing that are that go along with the truths that I've been told. Like I'm just a guy, right? Like I'm a normal person. I have kids. I got a job. I'm not a psychopath. But there's something going on. There's something. That name that they're saying now, Omicron, is more than just a name. All names have meaning. My name is Scott Isidore Roy. I hope I'm not the man of 666. I've seen 333 my whole life. Every single day. In one way or another. Either on a clock, on a license plate, in a phone number, on an ad. Anywhere and everywhere. I've seen it. And I've, in the past, after witnessing what I witnessed at 21, I researched into the 333 and came across a book from Aleister Crowley called 333, the Book of Lies. And it explains the number 333 as a representation of a demon called Karanzan. And this thing, apparently, you will face it in the abyss. Like, I guess, if you were one who wanted to become a magic practitioner, then in order to fulfill your journey as a mage, as a real magician of black arts, then you would have to eventually face this thing, and this thing is yourself. It's a mirror image. You stare out into the abyss and you see nothing but yourself. And I think maybe that is somewhat true to what this is that I've been seeing. You know, and other sources say 333 is an angelic number, which, you know, of course, if this thing is a demon, it is also of that lineage, right? It's non-human. It's either way. So at 23, I had another sleep paralysis situation. And this time was they did something to me. It wasn't multiple, it was just one. It was different looking than all the rest of them. It had skin. It wasn't just a shadow. And it wasn't one of the small things like I saw in my window. It wasn't a shapeshifter. It was a being that was well, I don't know, like it made the room look purple, like the lighting in my room. So the skin of it looked kind of purple, but I mean, it could have been white, it could have been gray, like a light color, and just reflecting the tint of the purple in the room. Either way, I was in sleep paralysis. I woke up in sleep paralysis, and it was already there. Like, usually in sleep paralysis, you wake up, you realize you can't move, and then the panic starts to set in. Speaking of which, you see that? Yeah, the panic starts to set in, and then if you're unlucky enough, you'll see one, and it starts to approach, and as it approaches, the vibration of terror increases, if that makes sense. It is releasing some kind of sound or something that I think that the person in the paralysis can only hear. And anyway, it was already there over me, and I couldn't see its face, but I saw what it was doing, I was in the position where I was kind of looking at my feet, but also like I couldn't look up high enough. It was 8 feet tall, so I couldn't look up high enough to see its face, but I could see what it was doing to me. And it had a very long finger. Like, see, this is my finger. It was like 3 times the length. Imagine that. So, like, you know, really long. And it touched the inside of my right thigh with the tip of its finger. And I woke up screaming in pain, grabbing my leg, and like as soon as it touched me, it was gone. My paralysis stopped. The purple was gone. The light in my room somehow turned on, all simultaneously, and my leg was extremely swollen. Like it looked like a softball was inside of my leg, just under the skin, kind of. It wasn't spherical, but that's the size. It felt like a triangle or an arrowhead, like where it was pointing for it to go in. That's the angle it went in on. It felt like, and it was there, and it was in me, and it was pushing its way further into my leg bone, it felt like. And it's fucked up now I'm talking about it. I can feel my leg right there. Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and it took about 3 weeks, I think, for it to actually mold itself into me, or whatever it did. You know, I know people would be like, well, maybe it was just like an infection of some sort, and you know, the swelling was going down over time. And no, this thing was hard. Like, I could knock on it and it was like a piece of bone, right? Like it was attached to my leg bone. And I was, you know, once it was in me, it was like it opened up my mind. I was seeing things on a regular basis. Like, for the 3-week period that it was driving itself into my leg, I still had to go to work. I still had to walk to work, a half-hour walk every day. You know, I had things to do, and it was affecting my cognitive ability. Like it was like I was working, and then my head would just boom, and I would like fall asleep standing up for like 2 seconds, and then snap out of it over and over again. I had no control over it for those 3 weeks, and I was seeing weird shit on my walks home, because I had to walk home at like 4 a.m. And I saw the one time there was a fairy type creature that was emitting light, came out of a pile of leaves that I accidentally rustled on my walk, and it went right in front of my face, and it was there, you know, and I was like, holy shit, am I fucking hallucinating? Like, what the hell's going on? And then there was another night where there was this gigantic dog the size of a fucking lion sitting across the block, like I was at a crossroads, and I had to cross the street, and it was there staring at me with glowing red eyes, growling very loud. And then I was just like, holy fuck, keep your head down, don't look at its eyes, turn right. And I turned, and I went the wrong way instead, about half a block before I heard the growling stop. I turned around, and it wasn't there no more. And like, you know, various things. There was ships hiding themselves behind the clouds following me home on a daily basis. There was a lot of shit going on. It was like whatever it put inside me was opening my mind, you know, and to see other things that I thought were not real. And you know, and the one day I looked in the mirror and I wasn't there. It was somebody else, and that scared the shit out of me. And that was all while I was 23 years old, before I conceived my first child. And then it died down, right? Like, I mean, I had demonic attacks after that. Like, I've been pulled off my bed by my leg. I've had frying pans and plates and spatulas and shit thrown at me off the counter with nobody there. I've had, at a friend's house, a fire alarm ripped off the ceiling right in front of me and smashed into 1,000 pieces with like 6 witnesses. You know, like, things are not as they appear here. And the people in the TV are building your reality based on what you believe is true that they're saying. And you know, I see beyond that, and things are happening now.